Hello and welcome to another episode of Dance Teachers Academy. I am your host, Jose on the mic, and with me as always is the lovely, amazing dancer, May. How are you doing?
I am wonderful, and I am thankful to our sponsors today, Amazing Productions and Dance Vision, and I'm excited to have our guest, John DePalma, the voice of Ballroom Dancing.
Of Ballroom Dancing.
Thank you. Nice to be here. Thank you so much.
This guy's the Michael Buffer of the...
Yes, that's right.
Thank you.
I forget.
I hope you're getting $1 million like he is.
No. You know the ballroom business. It's Hollywood without the paycheck.
Well, it's good to see you, man. It's been a while.
Thank you. I know. It's great to see you, too. It's been a year and a half,
Yes,
I guess, for all of us.
For everyone, yeah.
Everyone.
What
Amazing.
did you do in 2020? What were you doing?
What did I do? Well, the last event that we did was North Carolina. We had just done a big event in New York. It was New York Dance Festival, and we were all kind of on top of each other because it was in the Roosevelt Hotel. It was a big comp in a small space.
Huge. Yes.
So surprisingly enough, nobody really, got sick, which we were surprised about. Thank goodness.
Thank goodness.
And then we went to Heritage Classic, and we were rolling, and then all of a sudden we went from 60 to 0, and
somebody set the brake.
that was it, and we came home. So I guess we did what everybody did the first few weeks of just being shut down and not having any work. We made sure that we had all the food that we needed, and then we binge watched several programs off of Netflix.
Kept a
and
real
Prime,
close eye on your TP,
right? Yeah. And that was a very interesting experience, I will say. I've never experienced anything quite like that in my life.
I would have never thought that PT would be, or TP would be a problem.
I have to tell you, my mother is 95.
God bless her.
And she lives with her sister who is 88, and they live in a senior community not very far from where we live.
Okay.
And so, toilet paper was an issue. And I'm standing in line at Trader Joe's waiting to get into the store because they're only allowing so many people in.
people in there, right?
And I hear these two women in front of me having a conversation about there's toilet paper at Walmart, and it's Angel Soft, and you can get it there. So I'm listening.
Dropped on.
Oh, okay. So I got my groceries at Trader Joe's. I got in a car. I drove across the street, and I go into Walmart, and I'm standing on another line. And, they're like, at Walmart, what they were doing was they were timing you. Like, they let everybody in, but it was 60 seconds in between each person. It was wild.
Oh, wow.
And they'd go, okay, you can go. And they would be like, welcome to Walmart. Welcome to Walmart. I mean, it was wild. So now I go in, and I'm looking around, and I see it was like this pyramid of Angel Soft, right?
Nirvana.
This pyramid. Yeah, like the light was shining down on it. So
the angel was singing.
oh, this is great. So I took one for me. It was a 4-pack. I took one for me, and I took one for my mother. I didn't see the sign that said one per customer. Well, you would have thought that I got arrested for shoplifting because they came down on me. Like, sir, put that down. No, you only have one. That's it. Only one. I mean,
Sorry, man.
Okay.
I didn't see the sign.
Yeah. But we got a little desperate. We did order toilet paper from China, which took weeks to come.
Sure.
And when we came, it doesn't, it's condensed. It's like, it looks like a giant, because it doesn't have a cardboard roll in the middle. Wow. It's still in the garage. It's still in the garage. Haven't touched it.
Look here, folks. I promise you'll never hear subject matter like this on any other show. But this one.
Well, consider the pandemic, right?
Right.
Yeah, right.
But what we really did, truly, was we did some virtual, teaching.
Sure. Yes.
So Marianne was very busy doing virtual coaching. We did a couple of virtual competitions, and we actually moved to Florida in 2016. And when we moved, we were very, very busy, like everybody was, pre-COVID. So we
wide open world down there.
We unpacked for 2 days, and then we left for 3 weeks. And then we unpacked for 2 days, and then we left for 5 weeks. And it was just, kind of that way. And we're very blessed that we have that work and that people want us. So no complaints. so what we actually did during the pandemic was we moved into our house. Like seriously moved in.
Oh, yeah. Like, oh, I didn't know this room was here.
Right, or, oh, that's right, or, oh my God, look at this box of stuff. So it was really kind of nice to have the time
Sure.
to not be under pressure, and we took our time, and we understand why they call occasional chairs because
They're
we
not for
can only
long-term
sit in
sitting.
them occasionally, and so we really moved in. We changed things, and so it was nice. So now we really feel that we live there, and we're very happy.
Sure.
So
Well, you put the time in, though.
So
we did.
as a competition organizer, so you're going to have Capital this year. What are the dates of?
Yes, Capital Dance Sport is happening. We're really excited. The dates are August 25th through the 29th, and it is in Alexandria, Virginia, at the Hilton at Mark Center.
Okay, sounds great.
Yeah, so we're really, really psyched. We're going to do a lot of precautionary things. We're pretty confident everybody will be vaccinated by then.
Or the large majority.
Absolutely.
Sure.
But we'll do social distancing as best we can. We're going to actually bring in air scrubbers into the ballroom and into the pre-function area that recycle the air and destroy 99.9% of pathogens.
Sure.
So, we just
That's
want
a great
that
idea.
little extra boost of confidence for our attendees.
Right.
And
You just run a ceiling fan, people will be comfortable with that.
I think so, as long as you know the air is circulating, right?
Well, how did you
Save
feel?
yourself the money.
Yeah.
How did you feel as a competition organizer? When did you make that decision? Oh, we're not going to be able to run this last year.
Well, we just kind of knew it was in the thick of everything, and we're located. Our event is, even though the address is Alexandria, Virginia, we're on the cusp of Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
So,
Across the bridge.
Yeah, right
So it
across
was
the
a
bridge.
no-brainer.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Exciting that you're doing it this year.
We're thrilled.
Yeah.
We are really thrilled. We were actually, we bought Florida Superstars, and we rebranded it as Florida Star Ball.
Okay, and when is that?
Well, runs in February,
Okay.
over President's Weekend.
Oh, nice.
And this year was going to be our inaugural event.
Oh.
And so it was running, because Florida was open, but you needed to be diligent in what you were doing. And where we moved the comp back to Tampa, it had been moved to Orlando, and we moved it back to Tampa, and everything was fine, no big deal. And the event was 2 weeks before the Super Bowl, and all of a sudden Hillsborough County came down with an iron fist, and everybody had to wear a mask. Period. End of discussion. Even if you were on the floor competing. So once we posted that on our website, everybody started canceling. So we flipped it over into a virtual event,
Oh, nice.
which was a very interesting experience,
How
actually.
is that?
I was
I'm
curious
so-
how that works out.
Thank you. How does that work?
Well, there's a couple of different ways that people do virtual. Some of them do them pre-recorded. Some of them do them live, or a combination of both. We opted to do a pre-recorded event. So it was really interesting because all the categories are set up. All the music is pre-selected. It's a tremendous amount of work.
I would
So
think so.
it's not really, you don't put any less time into a virtual event than you do to
I would
a
think
live
more,
comp.
for sure.
I think more, yeah.
And
the
then,
infrastructure you have to have in there.
Yeah, I emceed it. So they sent me all the list of all the heats that we were offering, and I laid down the voice tracks for that with a special microphone, but I did it through my phone, which was really wild. So it was plugged into the phone, and I just announced what the heat was, and I did it all repetitively, and then Dropboxed it to the sound engineer. And as the entries came in, it was all put together just like a regular event. And so then when the virtual comp actually happens, let's say you had 6 people that entered the same heat, then they all dance to the same piece of music. It's all pre-recorded.
Sure.
And then the engineer coordinates it all with the music and the timing. And
That's a lot of work.
And the judges sit there on the screen. The judges are all remote from wherever their locations are. And the heat comes up, and 6 people are all on little boxes on the screen, and they judge them. And they they mark, the ballots are on their smartphones, and then they submit it. And we were actually in a location with the company that did it. It was called Starcast Virtual Productions. They were exemplary. It was Michelle Hudson from Minnesota, who actually is the owner of the company, and they did it was so amazing and so professional.
Sure. So somebody didn't have to invent the wheel; it was already there. You just had to kind of fit it.
Yeah, and the great thing was that
situation.
the first time they did it, they're the organizers of Heart of America in August. So the first time they did a virtual comp was their own. So
they worked out all
the kinks by the time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so it was really a great experience. So it was Florida Star Ball, but the crew lives in Minnesota. So we flew.
Two hours time
we flew to Minnesota.
Oh, you did?
Well, because it was more cost effective for us to go to Minnesota than it was to bring all of them to Florida.
Gotcha, yeah.
And we were at the Intercontinental Hotel at the airport in Minneapolis. And we had a conference room, and we were there for 3 days with setup and all that stuff. And we were in a big conference room. They were all in one room. I was out in another room on a laptop with a green screen attached to my office chair. And I said to them, hey, this is supposed to be taking place in Tampa. So they threw up a video of downtown Tampa.
Sure. Green screen.
My little 5-year-old nephew turned to his mother and said, Mama, Uncle John's on the news, because I was there, and they saw it was so cute. And then at nighttime, when it was an evening session, we had Tampa Harbor downtown with the lights and all that. Yeah.
The boats going by.
It was very cool what they did.
Green screen is your friend when you're filming.
Yes, absolutely.
And I'm so glad that dancing continued, because, there was some really hard times last year. People, of course, sick, losing their lives, just the heaviness of civil unrest.
It was
the isolation. Really what got to,
isolation.
people having to sit through cabin fever.
Absolutely.
Politics, very difficult. Didn't matter which side. And to have the absence of dance in a world, I feel like it was really felt. And
it was very hard.
Yes. And
very
so
hard.
To have these ways to continue to dance and pursue that, I think, great. It's very important to add light to the world. And so sometimes we think maybe our world or dancing isn't as important.
Right, or it's just a frivolous activity or whatever, but it really is not. People dance for so many different reasons. We know people that don't even compete, that go to studios and take lessons. They take those lessons for so many different reasons. Dancing just happens to be the vehicle that they use to accomplish those other things. So I think it's
relief, exercise.
Absolutely, it's a very fair thing to say that people that go to dance studios and use dancing as a vehicle to accomplish another personal goal.
Right.
In their life.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Oh, definitely.
And so
it's healing.
Yeah,
healing.
absolutely. You're, whether you've moved to another part of the country and you're using it as a way to reconnect with people because your circle of friends has changed, whether it's, death or divorce that puts you back into the mainstream again. Everybody's life changes, for different reasons. Or, I need exercise and I don't want to go to a gym. Or, I want a new circle of friends. Or there's so many different reasons. We call them benefits.
Sure.
And
would be a better word for it.
Absolutely. And that's what they are. And I think to have that removed was very, very hard for a lot of people. Surprisingly enough, because we keep, our fingers in with people all around the country, and I do consulting work for dance studios when I'm not emceeing and running events. The schools that I've been in touch with have all said, which I find very interesting, that they're having a challenge bringing the older clients back in. I don't mean older in terms of age, but just the ones that have been there before are far more cautious, and they really want to wait until everybody's vaccinated. But surprisingly enough, their new business is up. So,
it's true.
Yeah, people just want to go out and do stuff.
Well, that cabin fever.
Absolutely.
Like you lock somebody down for a year.
Right.
Yeah, interesting.
As soon as you turn them loose, they go crazy.
Absolutely.
I have a student
School's out.
who's
Yeah.
I've had a student for a really long time who's very introverted, and he always said, I just want to crawl into my house and curl up and close myself off from the world. He used to always tell me that. And
Until it happens.
And then
Yeah.
he had that.
He was closed
and he
off.
realized he didn't like it at all.
Uh-huh.
And now he's super social.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and he's, dancing up a storm more than ever.
I think it's great. And I think that what this has all taught us, in my opinion, is, first of all, this is a public health crisis. It's not political.
Oh, of course
the
not.
virus, as we know from the people that have gotten very sick and survived, and the ones in our industry that have not survived,
Yes.
which is so sad.
Very sad.
The virus didn't decide that I'm going to infect you because of what your political affiliation is.
Exactly.
Right.
Religious affiliation.
Exactly. And you know what? Having to sacrifice the discomfort of wearing a mask versus
getting this bug,
being sick as a dog or dying, I think is really kind of a no-brainer. I don't understand what the issue is.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's wearing a mask.
Deal with it.
Really.
And flus are down.
That's exactly right.
Literally.
So if you can protect yourself and you're being protected from other people, and it still allows you to go to a studio and take a lesson, or go to the movies, or go to a restaurant and take it off. I mean, everybody's looking for a contradiction of, oh, how ridiculous that you have to wear a mask on the plane, when you're all crowded up, but they make you social distance when you're when you're standing there trying to get on the plane. Like, how silly it is. We don't know. There's so much we don't know about this, and it keeps evolving, and there's variants and whatever.
Yeah.
So
Just put the damn mask on.
yeah, that's it. Just put the mask on.
The damn mask.
There was just an event a few weeks ago where, the organizer didn't believe in masks and whatever. It was not a priority, and it ran. And there were over 30 people that came down.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
That's a lot of
I
people.
mean, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
Over
That
negligence.
spreads to-
That's exactly right, because then those 30 carry it to
somebody
who?
else.
So let's be smart and let's err on the side of caution.
Let's do, yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, what's the big deal?
I don't understand.
I mean, I
what
don't
they
see
do.
why it's so difficult to dance with a mask on. If I have to talk through, 6 wads of cotton for hours, then
Which is very
which is not
difficult.
easy.
Yeah.
It really isn't. Then I don't really see what the big sacrifice is.
I
don't know. I
agree
just
with
don't.
you. And I do want to say that. I don't think people realize how much energy it takes to announce from morning till night. I was saying this to you when you came up today, that at 7 a.m. I realized, I'm having coffee, and John DePalma was already announcing.
Yeah. He's downstairs
already
barking out
announcing.
orders.
Yeah.
And it's so exciting. And I forget who we interviewed that said, I don't get off the floor. I can't get off the floor until I hear John DePalma say,
And thank you, dancer.
Oh my gosh!
No,
they're like,
we-
they stay there
yeah, we-
until John says that.
Yeah,
And it's,
he's like, I don't finish my moving into my next step until I hear John say,
Thank you, competitors.
And
Right?
thank you.
Yeah.
thank you, judges.
And thank you, judges. He's like, okay, now I can move.
Right. And we never get sick of it. And that
hilarious.
saying is
Wow.
equivalent to
It's Michael Buffer, yeah.
Michael Buffer, who announces boxing.
Boxing, yeah.
Yes.
All he says is
Let's get ready to rumble.
he introduces
Right.
the combatants, and then
I have to
But
tell
we
you.
count on you.
Thank
we count
you.
On you. And it's always energetic. And that takes a certain energy and
I'll be honest with you.
personality.
I loved you were busting chops up here about where to put your mask on.
Oh, last night.
Don't wear it on your chin.
Yeah, covering your chin, your neck, or your left or right earlobe doesn't cut it. Well, what is that? It's hanging off their ears. I don't understand it.
Put it on.
Yeah, really. Yeah, it's pretty wild.
So what's wild too is Emerald Ball, right? Emerald Ball in Dallas, Texas. Did you ever think you would?
No, never ever. I mean, I even said that. When I was doing the mask thing, I said, this is a California competition that we are doing in Texas.
In Dallas, Texas.
How privileged we are, how fortunate we are to have a place to do this and do what we love. Let's not cock it up.
Right.
Really.
Yes.
Put the mask on.
I was asking them earlier, I said, hey, L.A. or Dallas? And they're like, nah, L.A., because they're just so used to their, to the staff.
We love it, though. We live here,
We do.
so we're excited about it. How do you keep your energy up, though? Really, how do you do that? Where you're announcing and exciting all the time. It's excited. I'm excited to hear you every single time.
I thank you for that. And I really have to say that it's not difficult to keep the energy up because I find it exciting. I always have. And I feel I'm just as excited about it now as I was when I first came into the business. And I think it's 46 years, now. I mean, I haven't been announcing 46 years.
Right.
Yeah.
Then my voice was not like this.
Yeah, right. It's all down and
Those
shaggy.
vocal cords, yeah.
Beating them up.
But it's wonderful. I mean, you see this fabulous, progression of dancers. Now you see, the little kids that were amateurs 25 years ago that have turned professional.
They're blowing it up.
Yeah,
out there.
I know.
You
and
really get to
they're
follow
teaching.
people's
It is
dance
really
journeys.
unbelievable. And you
Wow.
see all these students that started out brand new and they really worked their way up, and now they're, dancing in, silver and advanced gold and all of that. It's fabulous. It really is. So it's a continuing evolution, and I think that's what, really does it for me. Mm-hmm. So we all, we sit up there and we talk sometimes because, when we first started in the business, we were the youngest generation, and now, we're moving into being the seniors
What do they say
of
for
our
golf?
industry.
It's not seniors.
Oh, no.
The Masters?
Champions. No,
Yeah.
the Champions.
The Champions.
Champions Tour.
The
Right,
Champions Tour.
right,
It used to be the seniors. I'm like, when did that
The
change?
Champions Tour. I like that better. Yeah, it does actually. We were like all the little, new guys when, Sam Sedano was, so it's kind of like, it's moving and those
evolution.
people. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's, it stays interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah.
So
I love it.
I'm glad that we're here, and I'm glad that we're able to do this. And
Oh, definitely.
yeah,
I mean, the amount of people that he's got on that floor it's literally after last year is unprecedented.
absolutely. Well, there's over 11,000
Yes.
entries.
That's what I heard.
At this year's event. And look at the ballroom, the dance floor. I mean, it's 60 feet wide. It's 100 feet long.
That's a big
The
floor.
ballroom is gigantic.
Yes.
And yet, I said that to Wayne this morning. I said, Wayne, how big is this ballroom? 15,000 square feet? He goes, no, it's 28,000 square feet. And I went, what? And it just doesn't feel that gigantic because there's that many people
Yes.
Right.
that are in here, and yet they're social distanced and they're not on top of each other.
Everybody's
And
really been good about that,
Yeah.
which is great. And
Pretty
that
much.
just shows you people want to dance. They really need it in their
For
life.
sure.
We need art in our life to balance.
Absolutely, art and the beauty of music, and it becomes very important. I think a stress reliever when we've got all these chaotic times going on, and
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
what have
Something
you.
to take your mind off the
That's
mess
right.
outside the glass.
Helps you deal with it.
Absolutely.
No,
it
really.
does.
I watch the news and I go, oh, I'm really glad I'm ready for another cha-cha. Let's go.
Oh, my please.
Absolutely.
All right. We're going to have to get up out of here. We have another engagement.
Okay.
Mr. DePalma, always fabulous to see you.
Thank you, Jose. Pleasure to see you too.
Sure, yes, sir.
I mean, my darling.
Oh, thank you. I love you because you're one of the few people that pronounces my name correctly. As you do with everyone.
Thank you.
I've never heard them flub a name up. That's
Never.
a fact. and they're not easy, some of the ones you have. The lovely May.
Thank you, Jose.
Outstanding.
Thank you.
All right, folks, this has been another episode of Dance Teachers Academy. Thank you for watching.